All right, hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. Good to see you. We're gonna see how this stream goes. I was up too late last night, but that's okay. We're back, and we're gonna be doing some doodling today. We're gonna take it easy, and I'll show you what we'll be doodling in a second. Hold on a second. But anyway, before I get into it, I want to remind everyone that Alchemortis is available for wishlisting. So head on over to the Steam page, give it a wish list if you haven't yet already. That would be great. You could also support the game on Patreon if you support at the $15 a month tier for at least 1 month. I will send you a Steam key for the game, the full game, when it releases, and your name will be listed in the in-game Alchemortis credits. So if you're interested in that, definitely check it out. I appreciate the support. You can also support me by purchasing the Udemy courses. These will teach you how to build games in the Godot engine, and as of yesterday, you can also become a YouTube member if you'd like to do that. So all those ways you could support me. I think that the best way that you could support is by wishlisting Alchemortis. That would be much appreciated. And then, yeah, if you want to support in those ways, then you can do that as well. All right. We're going to be working on this paladin here. Let's see. Yeah, paladin, new character. And just drawing him up, trying not to make him too big. I think I need to redraw the necromancer. The necromancer's like the odd one out in terms of the style. But here's the fun thing about the paladin, at least the paladin's visual design. I'm gonna give him like this little rope of skulls here, so check this out. Any day now. Any day now. Okay, so check this out. How am I gonna do this actually? Is this gonna work? Look at his little skull rope thing. It's actually like physics enabled. So as his arm is moving around and animating, these things are gonna be swinging around. So that's gonna be like his little visual gimmick, I guess. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And then what else? Yeah, I mean, obviously just need to do a bunch of shading and stuff. I'm still not sure if I'm gonna stick with like the exact art that we've got going on here, because it's a little bit, I don't know. I think maybe I'll start shading it and then I'll see how I'm feeling after that. But yeah, I was thinking, you know, he's got a scythe dragon behind him here, so he's kind of like holding it upside down, and he's got this string of skulls here, and that's the dark paladin. So we're gonna doodle. Hello, Clickertail, welcome. Hello, Emerson, welcome back. Fishy, welcome back to you as well. Good morning, good morning. So we are doodling. So yeah, this is the weapon. I'm gonna call that scythe, I guess. Okay. So the question is, do I want to do shading now? I'm not sure if I'm totally sold on the helmet here. I may just move back to doing the classic hooded style for all the characters, but I dig the concept. Yeah, I think we'll see how the art turns out. But welcome back, Monkey Software. Good to see you. So let's see. The first challenge here is going to be figuring out if I can make this look like armor. That's the first thing to figure out. this guy is probably going to be a little bit brighter than all the other ones. Let me think. Yeah, I'm going to have to be, I don't know. It's going to be a little bit tricky to get this guy looking good, I think. But we're going to figure it out. We are going to figure it out. Okay, we'll just do some very rough, very light shading first, just to figure out what we're doing here. And then we can go from there. Okay, gloves here. I don't know if it's really worth spending too much time on the skull here. It's kind of a cute little skull, but maybe we'll do something like that. I don't know. We'll see. Actually, that's probably good. Don't want to go overboard. I mean, it's such a small little thing that I don't really know if I can do that much detail to begin with. Okay. I don't really know what to do about this section either. I felt bored at the office. Hello, Shirley, my dear wife. Welcome. You're gonna watch me struggle with this art. Hello, Wooius, welcome. Is this the color palette for all the characters? Yes, you'll notice that the primary colors for the characters are the dark purple, the light purple, and red, with sprinklings of like some of the cooler, brighter colors here and there. So generally, like every character's main body is like these three colors that you see on the armor here, but then there will be like accentuated colors, usually in like whatever items they're holding. And so that's kind of the approach that I've been taking for all the characters. So they all follow the same color palette. They all have like a different silhouette. I'm making sure to spend a lot of time, not a lot of time, but I'm making sure to put in the effort to give them all different silhouettes. And then the colors, you can see like the courier, you know, his liquid is blue. The Lich, his hands and his staff are the different color. Brittle Bones is a little bit more monotone, but he does have this little moth that's flying around him that's a different color. And actually, I wonder if I should make that moth. I might change that, actually, now that I think about it, to use the cool colors, because Brittle Bones has all the warm colors. So maybe I'll change the moth. Yeah, I think I'll do that, actually. Let me write that down. Let me write that down. An animated armor character? Yeah, the Paladin is going to be the Paladin. I'm really excited to animate him because of that physics rope thing that I have going on. Update Brittle Bones moth to use cool colors. I don't know. Yeah, content, whatever. There we go. Okay. That's insane. It's so good, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hello, Ninja Link. Good morning to you. How are you doing? With the snail cat emojis. So yeah, we'll just figure out, oops. We'll figure out what the shading should look like, generally speaking. I may need to actually update some stuff as well. But we'll see how it goes. The problem is this is, well, yeah, if I go too hard on the highlights, it just doesn't work that well. I have to be very sparing with those, otherwise it's not going to look good. Okay, well, we'll just roll with that for now. This guy's probably going to need a lot of tuning, but I'm just going to get something like, the goal here is just to get something in, and then we can modify as necessary. I think, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't so sure about his shape, but I think maybe it's okay. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. All right, boots. Thank you, Budget Jim, for the tier 1 subscription. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Welcome back to the stream. Always good to see you. The heat wave is intense. Are you experiencing it as well? Southern neighbor, it was 97 yesterday. Yeah, I think it was, last time I checked yesterday, or the last temperature I remember, was 94. With, of course, you know, the 80+% humidity or whatever it was. What is the humidity right now? Can I see? Yeah, it's 76% humidity right now at 10:30 in the morning. It's very toasty. Very toasty indeed. That first question mark was supposed to be a exclamation point. I got you. Yeah, it's toasty. It's toasty. But it's okay. It's all right. We are fortunate enough to have the right to air conditioning enshrined in our glorious Constitution, so Okay. I don't know about this one. We're not trying to make him look like a duck, so that is the immediate goal. Try not to make his feet look like duck flippers. I think this one is okay. Yeah, I don't really know. Wow, I probably can't go too far with that. This one over here, I don't really know what to do about this one. Read the conversation. Hello, Fat Kid Games, welcome. Like that. Oh goodness, the memes are too much. Yep. When our founding fathers signed the Declaration of Independence in their air-conditioned halls of Philadelphia. Oh goodness. Okay, that doesn't look terrible actually. So actually this is not turning out that bad. I mean, it doesn't, yeah, it looks pretty good actually with the just the light amount of shading that I've done here. I want to maybe just like pepper in some of the brighter orange color. I still don't know about like the shading of this stuff up here. Oh, that looks better actually. That might be too bright though. I may have to just put like one here. Yeah, that's fine, whatever. That looks all right. Now the thing about being able to use this orange color is I can make the red sections thicker, because then I can kind of fill in the thickest parts with the orange. Kind of break up the monotony of it. Wonder, should I make... I am not very experienced when it comes to drawing armor, so this is just going to be a lot of trial and error, I think. Can you believe it? I wonder if like a stray white pixel in there would look good. No, I think that's too strong. Well, we'll just keep that for now. Yeah, I don't know. I'll come back to that one. I think it's looking okay. I think what I want to do is maybe... I want to try making the red a little bit thicker up on these parts here. The problem is if I do too much red, it just kind of like, I don't know what I want to say about that. It just kind of makes it, almost feels like it has less detail if I do too much red. So I definitely need to use that sparingly. Yeah, see, that just looks weird. I almost think that just the solid purple with the singular red pixel there looks better. Although, I don't know about that either. Let's see. The hard part is really like, how do I make this feel rounded, right? You place just one pixel off and it's not gonna feel right. So I wonder, let's try this. That may work. It's just too much. Too much. Yeah, I may just have to do that. It just feels kind of weird. I don't know. I did this. That may actually work, or a variant of that. Oh, I think that actually works. Well, we'll just leave that alone for now. Try something similar up there. That one, no, I think I'll leave it. I think that's probably all right. Spam calls, go away. I don't want your extended warranty, but thank you for the offer. Oh, does that look better? Yes. Okay. So the helmet, I'm still not sure about, so maybe we'll take another stab at drawing that one. But I also want to get the scythe working, or looking good, rather. So let's see what we could do about that. But the blue item he's carrying is a light source. Should the parts of his hand, arm closer to it be more lit? They are not light source, no. But yeah, that's a good thought. Lit with blue light. That could work. I mean, that would be interesting. It's just not how I've done all the rest of the characters, so. Yep, he has a big scythe. I don't know, so this is not really intended to be a hood. What I was thinking this would be is this would be like a plate helmet that's just kind of in the shape of a skull with some like extra decoration on top. Obviously, that's not being communicated very well by this, which is why I want to redraw it. But he is going to have this scythe here, just for a little bit of extra blue into it. But also, what I want to do with the animation is I want to try to make it look like he's dragging this like super heavy scythe behind him. So he's kind of like, you know, he's a dark paladin. So just kind of like inverting the typical paladin. Give him really dark armor, give him like a skull helmet, have him dragging a scythe instead of holding a hammer. And then he's going to hold, for the people that weren't here at the beginning, he's holding like a skull rope here. So this is just physics. I'm just using the Godot physics system to like put these skulls on a rope essentially. So as he's animating, these things are gonna like fling around as he's running. So I think that's gonna be really cool. But yeah. Thank you, Snupbill, for the IDR 10,000. Very much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. Welcome, and you're a member too, dang. Thank you, Snupbill. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Gotcha, yeah. That's a cool concept, especially the dragging the scythe idea. Yeah, I think it's gonna work good when he's all animated and whatnot, but we have to get to that point first. All right, so the scythe here, this is going to be the tricky part, is I wonder if I should start dismembering this guy now so I can begin animation, or maybe I should finish the helmet first. Well, a little bit of dismemberment never hurt anyone. Let me commit what I have. Okay. We may want to put this into multiple different sprites as well, but let's create a new group first. New group. Paladin, put that in there. Okay. Arm left. Arm right. I may have to do multiple parts. Oops. May have to do multiple parts for the leg and the arms, so I have more room to animate. Right. Okay, so now the scythe here, we want to put this below the leg, or the arm left, right? Yeah, there we go. Oh, goodness. So this is just the head now. Okay. Yeah, I may actually want to do multiple pieces. Okay, this is going to get a little bit complex here, but that's okay. Let's take the arm left here, and we are going to cut out the hand as a standalone thing. Okay, and then the scythe needs to go there. So it's behind the hand, but above the arm. Okay, very excited for the Dark Paladin. Yeah, me too. What made you want to add YouTube member, by the way? Well, I didn't really have any content to offer YouTube members previously, but since I've been doing like the Patreon exclusive video, I figured, well, I can make those videos also available to YouTube members now. So yeah, and a couple of people have asked for YouTube membership so they could support. So yeah, figured might as well enable it. With the background gone, it looks like an occult animated armor from D&D or something. Oh yeah, it kind of does, right? Yeah, it's pretty cool. This guy is hopefully going to turn out good. We will see. The scythe, of course, needs to have an outline as well. Maybe we just won't worry about that just yet. Okay. I guess that's all right. I don't know about that, but actually that pattern looks kind of cool. So I don't know if I'm doing this that well, but the impression is supposed to be that this is like going back. So it's not, you know, it's not like front on, you can see it. How do I want to explain this? It's like it's going back in this direction, right? So it's not at an angle like perpendicular to the viewer. But I mean, maybe it's just a matter of, let's see. No, I'll have to play with it a little bit more, but that's okay. Okay, well, now the only thing left to do really is the head. Hello, Care Games. Good idea to add the YouTube member, add avenues of support. Yeah, I mean, might as well, you know. If people want to support my work and want to support the game, then giving them as many ways as possible to do that is a good thing. Okay, alrighty. So the head now. We're just doodling. That is the name of the game. That is the name of the stream. Oops. I feel like it's almost there. Hmm. All right, let's try a different head style. I'm pretty sure I do want to make it like a skull. I just don't know what the best way to do that is. Okay, that looks kind of cool, actually. Well, I don't know. Maybe if I pull this out a little bit more. Oops. Does Patreon also include YouTube content? Yeah. Yeah, so any exclusive videos that I make will be going to YouTube memberships and Patreon members. From now on, there will still be Patreon only exclusive content, like if I want to share an add-on or something. And of course, the Patreon is the only way to get early access to the playtests as well. So there's a bunch of different options. If you want to support, you can choose your own adventure. All right, which one do you guys like better? And you could say I don't like any of them if you want to, but please don't, because then I will be extremely sad. Now I'm wondering, does it look better here? Anyway. Let's take a vote. Oops. Are you serious? A. Okay. Really? Are you serious? Oh, I'm typing on the wrong layer. There we go. Okay. Let's take a look. All right, let's do a vote. This is head number A. Do you like head number A better? Or do you like, oops, head number B better? A, B. A, B. Number A or number B? People are saying B. B, B. I don't like any. I like both. B, B. All right, it looks like B wins overwhelmingly. All right, we'll go with B then. We'll go with B then. Cool. Actually, B. Wow, it was like, is this unanimous or am I getting memed? Okay, well, we'll go with B then. The people have spoken. The people have spoken. I might do a little bit of like touching up here though. Maybe not. Maybe we add that little extra pixel in there. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Do you see that? If I turn both the heads on, I feel like I get the best version of the head yet. Do you see that? So this is head B. This is the one you guys liked. And if I turn on the other head on top of it, we get like a mix of both. Do you see that? I told you that I like both. Yeah, I should have listened. Should have listened. I'm a genius. Do you agree though? Like, so here's the head that you all liked by itself, and then when I put the other one on top of it, I guess the only thing that's really changing is, well, some of the shading on the face is changing, but we get like this section highlighted differently. Yeah, so it's like, it's almost like the hood from the first option with the face of the second option. You'd still prefer B? Here, let me do something. Let's duplicate this. Let's duplicate that. I'm gonna get lost in all these things. We'll merge this down. Let me make sure I didn't break anything. Okay, so here's the merged version. So this is the merged version. Well, now I kind of destroyed it, but that's okay. Yeah, we'll just go with this one. You know what I'll do is I'll just take this section here. I'll cut that out of that one, and then here I will paste that there. I think I like that. I think that's a good middle ground. What do you think? I don't know. I almost feel like I've been looking at it for too long, but yeah, I think that's fine. Still go with B. There are too many highlights and the head is less defined. Yeah. So we're going to take basically 80% of B, but then just add this little section here. Does that look good to you? Does that look all right? Or do we still prefer it the other way like that? The new section looks good. Okay. That's what I think too. So yeah, we'll keep it like that then. Okay, yeah, we'll keep it like that. Good, 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 good. So basically this guy is all shaded up. So the next step is to animate, I think. I may revisit some of this shading, but I think I'm okay with like the shape of everything. So it will be easy enough if I want to adjust the shading to come in and just do that. The main thing that I don't want to do is I don't want to start animating him before I'm sure of like all the limbs and the head and whatnot. Because if I ever need to replace those, that may have an effect on whatever animation I make, right? I may have to redo the animation if I'm going to update certain parts of him. So as long as all the shape and silhouette is good and everything, I think it should be all right. Okay, so I do need to do some more surgery on this guy because we want each arm to be in two, well, the left arm, it's his right arm, but from the viewer perspective, the left arm is already in two pieces. I probably want to do the legs in a couple pieces each as well. And then this arm in two pieces. And then we should be all right. Should be all right. How do you design and develop the sound in the game? So I use a sound effects library. I've showed this before, but I have an app called Asset Horde. I have a bunch of audio files on my network attached storage, 170,000 of them to be precise. And I got these from the Sonus GDC audio bundles. I also purchase like Humble Bundle audio packs when those come up. Even if I don't have an immediate need for sound effects, if I can get like, you know, thousands of sounds for 20 bucks, I will buy that, stick it on this drive, and then I just go and I find sound effects that would match whatever I'm trying to do. And then I try to, you know, mix and match them, like merge them together. Sometimes I'll use multiple sound effects for a single sound effect in the game. I think the most important thing, like I'm not an expert in sound design, but one of the most important things is you kind of want to fill out the soundscape. So when you have like something, when you have a sound effect that's playing, if you want it to sound really good, you want it to have an appropriate amount of low end as well as an appropriate amount of high end. So the lower frequencies and higher frequencies, and you want to try to fill that out, because if you're not filling out that soundscape, then oftentimes it can sound hollow or not full. So I try to do that, and I'll do that by mixing and matching different types of sound effects together. But that's basically it. I mean, it's not anything more complicated than just finding one or more pre-made sound effects here and merging them together. And sometimes I do some editing to the sound effects, like, you know, sometimes there will be a 30-second sound effect, but I find a 1-second section in it that I can cut out and use for something. But yeah, it's not that difficult, really. You know, like pixel art, there's a couple of things that once you learn them for like how to make good sounds, the sound effect quality goes way up. But yeah, it's relatively simple. Like I'm not doing anything special. Not doing anything special. What helps with this game too is that there's no like spatial audio, because like everything that happens on the screen, right? There's not really a position of the player in world space or anything. So I'm not using any like audio stream player 2Ds or anything. It's all straight audio players, because, you know, I don't need positional audio, which simplifies things quite a lot. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, we gotta we're gonna cut this guy up. I don't know. I'm just gonna commit this again. Did I just commit this? 1042. Oh no, okay. So we'll commit that before we start cutting everything up. But I'm gonna take a quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, we will continue on. Okay, I am back. So what did I say we need to do? We need to cut up the legs and the arms. So body is good. We'll outline that and, oops, outline that. We may also need to update some of the things. Okay, so I think I want to take this section here. Let's do leg right upper. And then we're going to do leg right lower. And then same deal here. So this is going to be one of those situations where what I probably want to do is let's see, leg right, let's lock that so I don't edit that on accident. So the leg right upper, here's our body. So yeah, this is going to be a situation where I probably just want to bring this up like that. And the body needs to be above that. So when I'm animating it, I just have a little bit of extra room of pixels, right? Just gives me some padding there. And I'm gonna want to do the same thing. Well, actually, maybe I don't. Or do I want to do the same thing? Yeah, probably do the same thing for the leg left here. So background, so we want to take this leg left, cut that out, create a new layer. This is leg left upper. And then we're also going to do the same thing, just like that. Yeah, so it just gives me a couple extra pixels of padding there. And then I can outline like so. This is leg left lower. We want to outline that as well. Okay. And then we want to outline this part. And then leg right lower, we want to outline this one as well. Okay. So now we got to do the arms. Arm left, arm right. Okay. So this one, we will take the hand. I'll just grab this as like one section here. It doesn't need to be super particular. Hand right. Okay, we're going to want to outline that. Oops. Outline that, and then arm right. Outline this guy. Now the question here is, do I want to... Is there anything else that I want to fill out in terms of the pixel padding? Let me think about this. Is there anything else I want to do? Arm, hand right. So I guess there's an argument to be made that I could extend this hand part, or this hand right part. I could extend this out like this a little bit. And then arm right needs to go on top of it like that. Just so that I have, again, more space for animating. Although that does create a pixel that I don't want right there. Oh, wait. Does it do that? No, no. Okay, we're good. Do I want to do the same thing? What is this layer? Get rid of that. Do I want to do the same thing for this one? Probably not. Alrighty, so we've got all the pieces and parts. Actually, one thing I may want to do is the leg left upper. I may just want to put an extra pixel in there. Solidify that more. For the scythe, we're going to add an extra pixel here. I don't think those things really matter that much, but... All right, so we've got the whole entirety of the paladin done. I am going to need to re-export the skull as well. But I think we're good to go. So before I go any further, let's just say finish prep for paladin animation. Okay, and now we can just do this. Scripts, export layers. So I'm going to do two things. I'm going to export all these layers. So we'll wait for that to go. Yep. We are going to wait for that to go. Yep. Any day now. I don't know why this tool got so slow. It used to be the case that I could run this script and it would happen basically instantly. But now there's something weird going on where it takes forever. I suspect, I don't know if this is right, but I suspect it has something to do, like, I think this script is invoking the Sprite command line under the hood. And I wonder if the fact that this is going through Steam is slowing it down. So like every time it invokes the Sprite command line, it's obviously pointing at the exe path, but because it's a Steam app, it has to go through like a Steam initialization process every time. That's my hunch anyway, but I haven't spent any time looking into that. That's my hunch anyway. All right, so we've got all those things. So the last thing that I want to do is I'm going to just grab the entire dude and we are going to export the selection as Paladin. And this is just going to give me like the full view of what it needs to look like with all the pieces. So let's align this the way that I want it to be aligned. Probably like that. And we need it to be... I think the feet pixels are below the origin, yeah. Okay. Turn off the visibility of this. Okay. All right, good. All right, arm left, arm right, body. And we got the scythe. Oops. Okay, there's all of our pieces. So this is going to be the annoying part. I have to modify all the offsets myself. Okay, there's the body. And then I'm gonna have to orient the layers properly. Where do I want the rotation point to be for the scythe? Probably around where the hand would be. Okay, there's the scythe. Leg right upper. Okay. There's the leg right upper. So we've already got a problem here. This leg right upper needs to go behind the body. Okay. Where's our leg right lower? Here it is. Offset. We'll give it something like that. And the offset is important because that determines the rotation point, right? So I'm just trying to choose, basically what I'm trying to do with the offset is just choose a good rotation point. This is arm right. Okay. Okay, there's the arm right. Arm left. Well, where's my arm right or hand right? Where's that? Here it is. Okay, offset. All right. Leg left upper. This needs to go behind the body. There we go. Leg left lower. Okay. Hand left. I know that the hand left is going to want to go in front of the scythe. Let's do maybe that for the hand. Does that work? Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, the head is obviously going to need to go above the body. Well, let's finish the hand. Let's finish the arm here. Arm left. Well, let's get all the ordering in place once I get everything positioned properly. Arm left goes on top of the head. Body goes on top of the legs. So it might be easiest to work backwards, right? So what's the element that's in the farthest background? That would be the hand right. Then the arm right would make sense, right? And then the thing that's in the next level of the background would be the leg right. followed by the leg right lower, then the left leg. Yep. And then the body. And then the head on top of the body, but the head goes behind the arm left. The scythe goes in front of the arm left, and the hand left goes in front of everything. So this should be rendering on top of everything. The scythe will render on top of everything except for the hand. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think I've laid it out correctly. Okay, so we could get rid of this paladin node then, because this is no longer... Actually, let's keep it in place so I can align this skull a little bit. So we turn these skulls on. I'm going to have to change some things here. So let's put this like in the middle of the hand there. This rigid body. Let's see the pin joint. Move this up. Oh. I don't know if this matters. I don't know much about the pin joints, but move the pin joint up. Okay. Pin joint up. Then we have the rigid body. Good. And then we've got this pin joint. Move this skull up. So is everything correct here? I don't know if it super matters, but that's 3 pixels, 3 pixels, 3 pixels, 2 pixels. Son of a biscuit. Okay, let's get rid of the pin joints. Pin joints. Oops. Oh, this is still not aligned. Wait a minute. Am I confusing myself? Three, two. I guess the static body does need to move up, right? Am I losing my mind? I think it's good now. 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay. Like I said, I don't know if that super matters, but I just want to make sure everything's even. So everything will behave predictably. Oh, I still have the paladin sprite in there. Hello, GD Crazy, welcome. That's the kind of Godot enthusiast I like to see in the chat. I don't even know if GD means Godot in that situation. Why not animate an A sprite? I don't do frame-by-frame animations for this game, or generally. That's just a part of the visual language of the game that I came into, I guess you could say. I'm learning that it's very important to have like a strong visual design, and part of having a strong visual design means having some pretty strong rules for how you do your visuals. So one such rule is obviously the limited color palette, right? But I have other rules too, like every single color that gets drawn to the screen, it needs to be one of the 8 colors in the palette. And what that means is I can't use anything like transparency, right? I cannot, if I'm going to use transparency, like it either has to be fully opaque or fully transparent, right? So that there's no color mixing that happens anywhere. For my animations, my rules are no frame-by-frame animations. So if I want to animate something, that means that I can't draw multiple versions of the same sprite and use like a sprite frames to animate it. So every animation needs to be done with either animation players or tweens or shaders, right? And like these rules were initially adopted to make my life easier. Like I don't want to have to spend a bunch of time drawing something as complex as the Paladin and doing enough frames to make the animation look smooth. So that was the original intent behind the rule, but continuing to follow the rule means that everything will look visually consistent, right? So yeah, so it's just even if I'm doing something and it would be easier just to draw like an extra frame or two and animate it that way, I don't do that. Like I even have this little bird effect here. This is just a bird that can spawn in the map. And I could have done this as just 2 frames, right? One with the wing up and one with the wing down. But that's not what I did. I actually went through the effort of using an animation player for this. Because I wanted to adhere to my rule, right? But what this ends up doing is this actually, funnily enough, that this makes it end up looking like it's animated with sprite frames anyway, but it's technically not. So yeah, that's just a rule that I have for the game. It's, you know, there's no like technical limitation, obviously. It's just that's how it works. Uses physics-based rope and lets it animate, yeah. GD and my name is Geometry Dash, gotcha. I'm new to Godot. Do you have any beginner tips? No, I don't think so. I think my favorite tip to give out to people who are new to game dev is just you have to have patience with yourself. It's not going to be easy. Game dev is one of the harder things that you can do when it comes to creating software. And so, plus there's a skill curve to learning programming if you don't know programming. There's a learning curve to learning how to use the engine and what tools are available to you through the engine. And so like it's going to be hard. There are going to be situations where you get stuck, where you get frustrated, where you can't even make something simple work, like having the character move in response to input. Like that is going to happen. And I think it's useful to remember that and to have patience with yourself and to know that those roadblocks, no matter how insurmountable they seem and in the moment, are actually like a required part of the process of learning. So I would just say keep that in mind. Don't let yourself get too frustrated when something isn't working. Just try to remember that that's all part of the process and that you'll figure it out eventually. And when you do figure it out, you're going to learn why it wasn't working previously. You're going to learn how to do it correctly. And then you'll be able to take that knowledge into the future as you continue making games, right? That's the #1 tip that I could give you. Paladin, I can't tell what the arm is. Well, the problem is when you're zoomed in really close like this, it becomes harder to tell what's going on. But when he's on the screen, here, it's a much better silhouette, right? And maybe it's still a little bit hard to tell what the arm is, but when he's animated and everything, I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be all right. And if not, you know, I can try to do some things, but anyway, I'll show you guys the rope physics again for those who are new. This approach I will definitely try it on my game. Yeah, so check this out. Let's put this over here. Skull rope physics, look at that. So as he animates, these things are going to jiggle around. And actually, I wonder if those should be behind the leg. They probably should be, actually. Let's see. The one thing that I'm worried about is if I change the scale. These should go here. Actually, maybe they should go in front of the right leg, but behind the left leg there. Now, the one thing that I'm worried about is what happens if I change this scale? Is it going to go super wonky on me? Oh, no, it actually doesn't look that bad at all. Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. I was worried that that was going to create some, like, janky physics, like, immediately changing the scale. But it actually doesn't. What I may do for the skulls, though, is I was thinking, instead of having them directly attached to the static body 2D with a pin joint, or instead of having the static body 2D in the tree such that it scales with the character, I was thinking about having the static body 2D follow some kind of lerp point. So the lerp point would be stuck to the character, so as it's flipping around with the scale, the lerp point would like instantaneously teleport to one position or another. But then if I have the static body 2D lerping to that point, that might make things like the turning a little bit smoother. But honestly, I might not even need that. That looks fine. I've always wanted I've been looking for an excuse to do this kind of character design where they've got some like physical part of their character. I've been looking for an excuse to do that for literal years, and now I'm finally doing it. Hello, Tony Choppa, welcome back. Animate its leg with tween. So I actually think I want to change this a little bit though. This pin joint here. So now I got to turn all these back on. I want to make these actually closer. So I want to move everything up. Oh, that might be too close together actually. I also was thinking maybe I'll put a rope behind these things, but I don't think it's actually going to be seen because they're so close together. It looks great. Thank you. How about an outline shader for the limbs? Well, that would not match the rest of the character designs that I have, so probably won't do that, but I'm also having a difficult time understanding what you mean exactly. Do you mean like outline the limbs in a different color? Or outline the whole guy? Ooh, I like that. Actually, these should probably be behind. Let me think. I shouldn't really fuss over these minor details, but well, here's the thing. I want this to be in front of the legs, but behind the hand. How's that gonna work? Whatever. Actually, you know what? I'll just move this down again. Let's just move this whole thing down, actually. Yeah. Let's give that a shot. Well, I can always play with like where those actually go. I'm actually realizing now, though, that the skulls are not shaded properly. I just flipped one skull, but I actually need to shade it differently. So we are going to do... We're going to do that. Duplicate. Again, it's a minor detail, but... It's a minor detail, but I think it's good to be consistent. Add a fist sprite maybe to make the skull behind. Pin joints look nice though. Definitely need a prisoner type character with shackles that have chain links that bounce all around when you're moving. Oh, that'd be cool. That would be cool. All right, so this guy here, this skull, turn off flip H, and then we want to put skull flipped here. There we go. So sometimes the scaling does, like, you can see that it's kind of like messing it up. I think the problem is that you're not technically supposed to scale physics objects. So I may actually have to do something with the skulls. That's going to be... That's going to be a little bit tricky because I want to be able to flip the whole character by just changing the scale, obviously. But if I need to avoid applying that scale to physics objects, then I may need to figure out a different solution. Anyway, we'll work on it later. Okay, initial setup of Paladin. Changing its position when flipping, is it intentional? Yeah, it should be, because it's attached to his hand. Right, his hand is holding it. So when he flips, we want that same hand to be holding it, right? And technically, like, if you flip him, you know, it's a different, but it's whatever, it's fine. All right, we can start animating this now. This is going to be a pain and a half to get this to work. All right, let's just start, I suppose. We have to, of course, well, actually, before I do this, I actually think I want these pieces to be parented. Yeah, I'm glad I caught that before I started animating. So that way, as I'm rotating this, you know, the whole thing goes with it. Oh, that's going to be impossible, though, with the... Oh. Wait, I can just make these both children of arm left, right? Okay, yeah. Actually, should I make the scythe a child of the hand? And then visibility, show behind parent. Does that make more sense? Yeah, and I can still animate the scythe independently too if I need to like apply some rotation offset. But that should work, because then I can do stuff like this. Not that that will be part of the animation, but... Okay, alright. So I'm glad I set that up. And actually, do I put the skulls as a child? Oh, I gotta put the skulls as a child of the hand as well. Oh, but then it won't render in front of the leg. Oh. I don't think I'm quite ready to animate this. I need to figure out the structure. What I may need to do is I may need to do something a little bit weird, but if I do visuals right root, do that, and I put these all here, and then I do another node 2D visuals left root. Oh, the skulls need to go there, and I put these under here. What I'll probably need to do is actually end up changing the scale of these. Yeah, so I'll change both of those scale roots. That will allow me to avoid changing the scale of the skulls. Now, I probably will want to flip H when the scale is flipped so that these change direction as well. But I won't be scaling the physics bodies, which is good. But now what I need to do is in the hand here... Oh, I parented these wrong. Okay. Oops. Okay, that works. For the hand right, I'm going to do a remote transform 2D and put it right there. And then the remote path is going to be skulls. And we only want to update position. And maybe rotation as well. I wonder how that works. Anyway, so that remote transform 2D is going to push its transform onto the skulls. So the skulls now are never going to be scaled. The only thing that's going to change is the position and rotation. And I'm going to need to scale these together by -1 when I want to flip him. And then I'll need to flip those sprites independently. Oh, that's not good. What? I don't know why those changed scale, but that's okay. Yeah, remote transform. Is this method of animation preferred if you want physics-based collisions and higher hitbox interaction in general? I don't know. Like, if you want to do precise hitboxes, that should be possible with frame-by-frame animation as well. You would just have to animate, like, the hitboxes to match the frames. So I don't know, yeah, I don't know if that would be necessarily a requirement. but I haven't made that kind of game that you're talking about, so that's just an educated guess. Okay. Why does it feel like it broke? That doesn't seem right to me. Something is happening. Something weird is happening. Why does that scale keep changing? I told this not to update the scale. Maybe the rotation. Maybe I don't want the rotation then. Interesting. Seems so hard. When did you learn Godot? I've been using Godot since 2017. So I've got a number of years of experience in the engine. It's not hard, it's just a lot to learn. That's all it is. It's just a lot to learn. Okay, further restructuring. All right, I'm gonna take a stab at the animations next. But I'm gonna take another quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, we'll try some animations. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. So I think my idea for the Paladin in terms of how the gameplay is going to go is I would really love to make the Paladin focused around weapons in some way and also focused around corruption in some way. So the idea being that you gain power through corruption and then having a bonus to like weapons or something. I think that would be kind of cool. So this guy, like, you know, all the rest of the alchemists are all like magic oriented. You know, you've got a skeleton guy, you got a courier guy. But this guy is not going to be very like magically inclined. It's going to be more focused on just like, you know, martial combat, right? But we'll see. We will see. How do I overcome the fear of opening Godot? Every time I open Godot, I'm staring at a blank state. I think a lot of that is due to like having an overwhelming amount of decisions and choices. This is, I mean, it goes back to the same thing, constraints, right? Give yourself something very, very narrow to do, right? Don't worry about anything else. Just like, you know, give yourself a task like, I want to just get a little box moving around on screen with WASD, right? And then it's like, that narrows down everything you have to do. Like it just pretty much prunes like 98% of the engine functionality, right? You just go in, focus on that narrow task, figure out what to do to get that to work. Like constraints are everything. Like the reason you feel like paralysis around maybe art or games is because like these tools are designed to give you like an infinite number of options, right? But what you need to do is give yourself a finite number of options and then go from there. So that's why like with pixel art, I recommend, you know, if you're learning, start with a very limited color palette because it significantly reduces the amount of decisions that you need to make. Same with like the canvas size, but the same applies to like building a game too, you know? Try to give yourself some constraints that significantly reduce the things that you need to think about, and then it becomes a lot easier to tackle starting whatever you want to start. Yeah, that's a good idea too. Got a meeting to go to. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a great one. You too, Ninja Link. Thank you for joining. Yeah, that's true. Care Games Inc. That's true. Yeah, I mean, so one thing that you might start with, one of the things that I like to do first is I like to identify whatever the most difficult problem is going to be, and I try to do that thing first, or at least I try to get an idea of how I would do that thing. So that can help too. So like with a deck builder, right? One of the most difficult things that you'd have to figure out is like how to get card drag and drop working, right? And so maybe you just focus on that first. Maybe you don't even worry about how it's going to fit into the larger scene. You just say, I'm just going to focus on getting some cards that I can like move around the screen with the mouse, right? And then the next biggest problem might be, how do I actually detect when a card is played and then apply its effect, right? And you just solve the difficult problems one at a time, and then soon enough you'll have something to work with. Hello, Dollop. Welcome. Okay. I have a headache all of a sudden, so I'm going to see if I can get at least some of the animation done here, but okay, let's see. Maybe we'll start with the arm right. So position. Now here's the other thing. Do I want to do a root node for this? Yeah, I'm just gonna keep adding nodes to this tree. This is the arm. So the reason I like to do like these extra root nodes here is because now my arm right, I know that my arm right is going to be at the proper position when all of its transforms are zeroed out or default, right? So I know now that I can move this arm however I want, and to get it back to where it needs to be for the default pose is 0, 0. If I hadn't have done that, then my default position is 4, negative 24, and that's just like, that's a lot harder to reason about. So I like to set up these extra root nodes that just like occupy the position where the arm should be, and then the arm can sit at 0, 0 within that. It tends to, at least in my opinion, make animating things a little bit nicer. Oops, I don't want to do that. Do I want to do a root node for this as well? No, I actually don't think I need to do that. Just focus on the rotation. Let's just see what that does. Oops, I forgot to put it on auto start. Okay, so there's a problem. It's not actually moving the static body. Also, that doesn't even look that great to begin with, but is this not going to work? Do I need to take a different approach to this? Okay, so that works. So maybe I do need to keep the rotation on there, but that's all right. That doesn't look that great though, so let's change this. Mostly I'm just trying to play around with the animations right now. I think it may actually be better if I start. Maybe if I started at -30. Got to get the timings down and everything, but maybe this guy could maybe. Yeah, the idle animations can be longer. So let's just do a longer idle animation and shift these over. How do you feel about coding on stream? Do you get anxious not being able to solve problems quickly? I'm interested in starting to stream dev, however, I'm worried about that. No, I don't really worry about that. I mean, I'm pretty open when I get stuck on a problem. Many people have seen me get stuck on problems quite frequently. As a matter of fact, it happened yesterday. I think it's just, you know, that's just part of programming. Like you're not going to be able to go through anything complex and like never get stuck. So it's just a normal part. That can actually be some of the most entertaining parts of the stream too, is like explaining to the viewers like what the problem is and why it's hard to solve and like all the options that there are to solve it, but why certain solutions aren't that great. That kind of thing. That is true, yeah. Any estimate on when the game will release? Later this year. Remove the skulls in this. Oh no. Oh no. All right, well, this headache is bothering me. This just came on suddenly. I don't know why. But we're at 2 hours anyway, so we got a lot done, but I'm going to end the stream there. I may stream later this afternoon if I'm feeling better, but otherwise we'll be back at it tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. Hello, Real Cruda. Sorry, just hopping off the stream now, but thanks for joining. Anyway, you can wishlist Alchemy Mortis on Steam if you're interested. I would appreciate that. You can also join on Patreon if you want to support the game. You can join as a YouTube member. There's all kinds of ways to support, and I appreciate all of it. Even just liking the video, subscribing to the channel, joining the Discord, all that stuff is appreciated as well. Thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye-bye for now.